This is Cindy Witt, and I am going to describe a project-based learning lesson plan that is centered around weather for kindergarten. So in kindergarten, there are several standards that surround weather, and so I wanted to focus in on that and also focus in on some math standards about counting and comparing numbers, and also the reading standards of reading informational text as well as expressing thoughts through speaking. So this project will end with a speaking project that the students will do. So this project would start with the entry event of a local meteorologist coming to my classroom and talking to the students about their job, what they do, and how they report about the weather on the news. And so this can engage the students. They may even recognize the meteorologist from the news channel that their family may watch at home. And I think that this can get them really excited to be learning about weather. Once our meteorologist leaves, the lesson will begin by learning some vocabulary that the students will need to be able to communicate within their groups about the weather. And so I will do this through a read aloud on the Epic Reading program, and also through some worksheets that students can match the weather term with a picture. So this can be a great visual model that can help to solidify those weather vocabulary concepts in their minds. And so once that's done, the students would go back to their Epic Reading programs on their computer and follow along and listen to a higher level reading book that is about a classroom that is doing a weather data collection project, just like we will be doing, or similarly to what we would do. And so this read aloud can also get them familiar with terms that we will be using, such as observe and collect, when we're talking about our weather data. So once the vocabulary is really understood by the students, then we're ready to go into our weather journals. So each student would be given a weather journal, and each day the journal will include spaces to record the temperature, to draw a picture of what the weather is for the day, and to label that picture with the terminology that we've learned to describe the weather pattern for the day. Also, students will be able to look at a rain gauge, and we can practice measuring that if it has rained. And also, if it's a windy day, I suggest in my lesson that you just put a flag outside your window so that students can see if the flag is moving, so that they know if it's a windy day or not. And so this is really a student-led project. They observe the weather patterns, they collect that data, they write that down, and so they are truly engaged in this. Also with it, each day we can leave our class predicting the weather for the next day in a pocket chart. So this keeps up the anticipation for the learning all throughout the weeks that we're doing this project. And so after the 10 days are over, the students will also be graphing the weather patterns for each day. So that's also something that's included in the weather journals. The teacher has a model that the students can also look at on the smartboard of a graph, and many lessons about graphing can be given as well to get students to understand that. But once the 10 days are over, students can interpret and analyze the data that they've gotten from their graphs, and that's where counting how many standards come in, and also the standards for comparing which type of weather had the most or the least amount of days. And so after the 10 days are over, the final project with this is for students to be their own weather reporter. And so there's a script included and also a rubric to grade the presentation that they give. They can practice their presentation with their partners, and then the teacher can record their weather report and share that with families. And so I suggest that this project be done once again in the winter and also in the spring. And then this data collection can lead into a discussion about the seasons. And also through this first project, you could go ahead and discuss with students about why it's important to predict to prepare for severe weather here in Tennessee. So this is a project-based learning for kindergarten, all about weather. Thank you.